Folks, I don't know how I missed this one, but apparently Mike Huckabee is out there selling children's books. Yeah, children's books designed to teach children the truth about Trump. The liberal media has been so mean to Trump, and he's going to tell the kids how it really was. It is every bit as cringeworthy as it sounds. Everything's all patriotic colors. They show kids with the founding fathers, American flags, bald eagles, are all playing sports and living the American dream. And they had this to say about it. They said the mainstream media has been no friend to Donald Trump, and they'll never admit that he did a great job leading our country and making the changes that America needs. But as a future voter, our children and grandchildren deserve to understand the truth about Donald Trump, what made him a great president, and hear his plan to reclaim the presidency in 2024. Now, apparently, this new book is a revised edition of an older one that he put out in 2022, and here he is talking all about it. Roll the clip.
Hi, this is Mike Huckabee. Isn't it amazing how so much that President Trump said still rings true? But schools and the media don't want our kids to hear anything positive. And that's why my team created the Kids Guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And I want you to have it for free. As your kids read the Kids Guide to President Trump, they'll learn how President Trump defended traditional values, boosted our economy, and kept America safe by fighting illegal immigration and expanding our military. What's more, they'll learn how his vision to save America will undo the damage done by the current administration. So do your kids a favor. Help educate them on what an effective president can do for our country. Order your free Kids Guide to President Trump gift bundle right now.
So yeah, I reckon the first Kids Guide was free, but now if you want these books, you have to do a subscription of $21.90 a month plus $7.99 for a magazine subscription. And he's going to teach your kids all about Donald Trump and what a great president he was. And this is coming from people who wants to talk to us about grooming children. That wants to talk to us about indoctrinating their children. Let me just cut right through the bullshit and get right down to it. And I know this right here will piss off a lot of people in my part of the world, but Mike Huckabee realizes that once your child gets out into the world and gets past the end of the holler and drives past the dollar store and hits the big town, that when they get there, they're going to learn that there's a much bigger world out there than they ever dreamed. And there's a whole lot of different cultures, and there's a whole lot of different people who's faced a whole lot of different struggles, and they do not want your children to learn those things. And they don't want their children to learn those things. They want to keep their children in the dark as much as they can. And they start off at a young age grooming their children with nothing but false hope and magical fairy tales that there's not a lick of scientific evidence for any of it, but they teach them to believe in that, and now they're going to try to repaint one of the worst human beings, not just worst presidents, but one of the worst human beings that ever was president, that he was some sort of great leader. And it really makes me wonder, I can't help but kind of go back in time and think back to what it had to have been like to be in my part of the world right after the Civil War. Because I did have family members who fought on the side of the Union. So I'm not the first Southern disappointment in my family. There was people in my family tree that did fight for the Union. And I often wonder how they might have felt as they watched books get written about Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis, and all the Southern apologists started writing all the books and trying to repaint what happened. I wonder if there could have been a lost Brando uncle sitting in a chair somewhere going, I can't believe it, he was a terrible general. Did you see what they wrote? That's what we're seeing. When President Biden talked about how that we're at a time in history like never before, we're at a time where democracy is being threatened both overseas and at home, it truly is. It's happening right here among us. And they're trying to glorify Donald Trump. And, we all knew that they would. We all knew that they would try to rewrite history and paint him as a great guy. But now they want to do it to the children. They want to teach the children that. And that goes right along with everything else they teach them of don't question this, don't ask where it come from, just believe. Back when I was a young kid, 10 or 11 year old, I was removed from Sunday school class for asking too many questions. And I guarantee you there'll probably come a day where a kid will get removed from a history class because it questions that book. And that's what we can't let happen. We have to teach our children to read, absolutely, and they need to know the truth about everything. They need to learn how things really happened. And sometimes those truths are pretty uncomfortable to hear. Sometimes you just kind of want to curl up in a ball and go, dang, I can't believe it was that bad. But you need to know it, because if you don't, it's just going to keep repeating itself. And that's what will happen if these kind of books catch fire, and years from now, people are believing that stuff, and somebody's, yeah, I remember back when I was a kid, man, reading that book. Yeah, I read a whole bunch of books too when I was little. I got told a whole bunch of things that later I realized who wrote the books and what kind of propaganda they were trying to push. And I realized the people they were writing about the books were actually pretty terrible people. So all we can do is hope for our children's future, because if it's in the hands of these people, we're screwed.